and talk a little bit about Rick Telberg, today's speaker. Rick is the President and CEO of CPA Trendlines. He's also the President and Chief Executive of the Bay Street Group, LLC. Rick is a technology innovator with over 30 years of experience in the accounting profession, and he's dedicated to helping accounting firms leverage intellectual assets and develop new business opportunities. Rick has been a veteran analyst in the industry, an advisor to CPA firms, a commentator, an editor, and a publisher. So at this time, it's my pleasure to go ahead and turn the forum over to Rick Telberg.
Good. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. Welcome to everybody who's joining us today. Dib, it says I've been made a presenter, and I'm going to click show my screen. Stop me if I do anything crazy, please. Dib, let's see, show my screen. And I hope everybody is now seeing the title slide that says 106, not just 50 ways to increase profit.
Rick, I think we're actually seeing the other screen right now where we can see the presentation, but not in presentation mode. Let's see.
How's that?
So if you go on the GoToWebinar panel on the top left under Show My Screen, you can pick the drop-down of which screen to select, and you probably just need to select your other one there.
How's that?
Yes.
Thank you. Good. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody who's joined us today for your very kind patience with our technical learning curve. It's going to be a terrific tax season. I know it's going to be a terrific tax season because last year was a terrific tax season. It was much better than people expected. According to the surveys that we do at CPA Trendlines, and we've been doing them for about 10 years now, we have about 100,000 responses all told. Something on the order of 10% of people at about this time of year last year thought that they would be enjoying a much better year than last year, and by the end of the season, that had doubled. We're going to ask everybody to tell us what you think your tax season is going to look like a little later on. But we're going to focus on how to make it a better tax season, the keys to making it a better tax season, how to increase profits, serve clients better, and have more fun. Yes, have more fun in tax season. Believe it or not, we're going to have more fun in tax season. So today's agenda is all about 10 no-brainer upgrades you can make, 12 reasons to actually love tax season, 7 keys to tax season happiness, 16 traits of good tax clients, 6 ways to get paid faster, which is just to me, 15 easy value-add services. I like the easy part. And 40 more services tax clients should hear about. That's 40 more opportunities to make more money.
Rick, so this is Sharon. I'm sorry, Rick, this is Sharon. Could you speak up just a little bit louder? We're having a little bit of difficulty with the audio.
Sure. I'll speak a lot louder.
I appreciate it.
Let me know if you run into any other problems. So we've got 7 items on the agenda today. 10 no-brainer upgrades, 12 reasons to love tax season, 7 keys to tax season happiness, 16 traits of good tax clients, 6 ways to get paid faster, 15 easy value-add services, and 40 more services tax clients should hear about. That's 40 more ways to make more money this year. Tax season is profitable, and accounting is a business where we try to maximize our earnings. Sure, there's great concentration of work in a short period with occasional pressure. But if handled properly, the work can be managed sensibly with tensions at just reasonable levels. I also believe much of the pressure is self-induced by poor scheduling, inadequate quality control, and the lack of uniform systems that are followed by everyone in the firm, particularly the partners. starts at the top. And I think we're ready for our first poll question.
All right, great. I will go ahead and load that up in just a second here. Okay, so attendees, you should now be seeing the first poll question up, which is compared to last year's tax season. Are you expecting this year's tax season to be? And then select one of the following: much better, somewhat better, about the same, somewhat worse, or much worse. So remember, in order to receive CP for today's webinar, you must vote in all three of the poll questions. So please go ahead and select your option, click submit there. And we'll take another 15 seconds or so for people to go ahead and put in their vote.
David, it's looking very optimistic.
Yeah. All right, so just 5 more seconds here. And I'll go ahead and close it out now. And so, Rick, the results we see here, 34% said somewhat better, 29% about the same, and then a split between much better and somewhat worse.
Hey, Dave, I have a question. Is it possible for people to type in messages at this time?
They can on the questions, yep.
Because I would like to invite everybody to just type in a couple of 3 words on why you answered that way. You know, if you think it's going to be better, why you think it's going to be better. If you think it's going to be worse, why you think it's going to be worse. I would just be interested to see what people have to say off the top of their heads. And while that is rolling in, I'll move on to the next slide. I guess did we report the results here? 17% much better. That is way ahead of where we were last year. Last year at about this time, only 12% people thought we were going to be much better. And we finished the year with about 20% of the people reporting that the season had been much better. So I think people are basing their predictions of 2015 on what happened in 2014. And it's going to be really interesting to see what we learned from 2014 that we can apply to 2015. And I think we learned a lot. Meanwhile, I want to give credit where credit is due. A lot of the material for today's presentation didn't come from me. I don't make this stuff up. I work with some very smart people like Ed Mendelowitz and Roman Kepchik, and we publish them at CPATrendlines.com on the blog, and we sell their books through store.cpatrendlines.com. Ed has a tremendous bestseller in How to Review Tax Returns and the Tax Season Opportunity Guide. And Roman does a terrific job with the Partner's Guide to Accounting Firm Optimization when it comes to technology. It's not too late. In fact, this is the time where everybody has the opportunity to make the changes in their practice that they should be making in order to assure that you have that better tax season this year. In addition, we're giving away something for free. We're giving away a free PDF download at cpaclick.com/lovetaxseason from Ed Mendelowitz. 12 Reasons to Love Tax Season. It's Ed Mendelowitz's Tax Season Opportunity Checklist Kit. It runs 16 pages. It contains the reviewer's checklist for individual tax returns, 34 items, the reviewer's checklist for business tax returns, 42 items there, the top 12 tax return preparation errors, which you really don't want to miss, the reviewer qualification test, which is really interesting because how many people have been trained to do reviews? We've all been trained to do preparation, but not everybody really has been trained in a systematic way to do reviews. And we've got additional services checklists, a sample listing of additional services, what makes a good client, 16 tips for that, and the one-page tax season client follow-up action plan. So please sign up for that, download it, enjoy, and have a great tax season. So as we move on, I'm going to begin with 10 no-brainer upgrades. And it's all about making it easy to do business, making it easy for the clients to give us the information that we need to do our jobs right, and making it easy for the clients to pay their bills on time. And the first thing that everybody should have is a website, but not everybody has a website, or not everybody has updated the website. This is the perfect time of year to make sure your website is up, running, working, and updated. Make sure it has the proper contact information. Make sure it has everything you want your clients to know. If they're calling you in the middle of tax season, they ask you what kind of information you need, what form, they should be able to find it on the website. And the interesting thing is, not every accountant has a website or a good website or a working website. So just having a website and having an effective website gives you the #1 competitive advantage over everyone else. Look, competing in accounting is easy. Think about it. You're competing with accountants. If you do anything better than the next guy or gal, you're going to get a little bit more of that business. Second, make it easy for them to supply you with information. Turn on that portal. Make it two-way. Allow the clients to deliver you the information in the format you need. Look, everybody's digital. Today's a perfect example of working digitally. So the portal is now an essential piece of doing business. And most of what we're doing is paperless. The question is it paperless at the front end? Is it paperless at the back end? Make everything paperless at the front end. Give the paper back to the client. Keep nothing in-house. Stop paying rent on those file cabinets. And email and cell phones. People are communicating by email and cell phones today. If you're not giving out your cell phone number to your clients, or at least your best clients, they're probably feeling a little gypped. If they have to go through somebody to get to you, they're not getting you. And that's not what they're paying for. And don't be afraid of email. We're all using email. A surprising number of practitioners still are not using email or cell phones to the fullest. And for the rest of us, that's a competitive opportunity. Let's also talk about mobility in terms of laptops and flex time, and give our people the time they need to have a life and do the job. It doesn't have to be 9 to 5 or 6 in the morning to 6 at night. It can be when and where they want to work. And geography is no longer a limit. It doesn't matter where we are. I'm sitting in New York City. Viv, I think you're somewhere on the West Coast. The broadcast is coming, originating somewhere on Long Island and going through a company in California. It doesn't matter where we are anymore. And get used to the idea that we have new ways of communicating. We're using social media and we're using text messaging. This is just a routine way of communicating these days, as routine as fax or paper correspondence was for another generation. Text messaging is a great way to contact somebody without leaving a voicemail. It's a whole lot quicker. It's much better than voicemail. And number 10, let clients know. Let them hear. They need to hear, in fact. They don't have to do it themselves. That's what you're there for. Whatever it is that they need, whatever it is they need to do, whatever problem they're having in almost any aspect of their business or financial lives, they should be consulting you. And you can take care of it, whether it's taxes or accounting or bookkeeping or planning or dealing with estates or divorces or deaths or retirements and job changes. You are the one that people turn to. Clients tell their accountants more than they tell their own spouses. That's how much they trust accountants, and that's how much they need you. So why do we love tax season? Well, number one reason, it's the time of year we make money, and it's fun. Look, we spend a lot of energy hiring and adding staff and then making no effort at all to excite them and make them feel part of the firm afterwards. So part of what we want to do is share what we're learning with each other. Tax season makes us smarter. It makes us better business people. It makes us better accountants in general, better advisors, better tax preparers. And the great thing is it gets easier over time. Doesn't always feel like it, but in fact it gets easier over time because we grow as professionals. And the professionals we work with grow. And so there's this wonderful evolutionary excitement that we should be bringing to work every day during tax season, that today is a new day to do something great for a client. Today is a new day to do something great for ourselves, to learn something new, tackle a new problem, solve a challenge, and it's just a perfect time to foster this feeling. For instance, instead of assigning a list of returns to a staff person, why not show them the personal benefits of working on individual tax returns and the value created for clients? Look, for partners, we all love the work. Those who stay in the profession past the initial few years are pretty happy campers. They rarely regret their career decision and path. It's our job who have been in this business a long time to transmit those feelings to the people we work with, the people we hire. It costs us nothing. It's just a matter of attitude. And tax season is a flat playing field. It's really interesting. The newest person on staff who is grappling with this year's new rules and regs and changes in the tax code has the same advantage and disadvantage as any partner or any senior person, because all the regs, all the rules, all the changes are new to everybody. And so this is a really, really exciting time to be a newbie, to be a junior in an accounting firm, because you can excel, you can work your way up, you can prove your stuff, and this is a real opportunity that we can communicate to the people we work with. And there's no FASB stuff. There's no accounting. There's no there's none of the accounting rules and regs that we have to worry about. It's pure tax. It's all tax all the time. And clients flock to us. They love us. It is the merriest time of the year, I would say, better even than between Christmas and Thanksgiving, because clients need us, they love us, they're excited to see us. And then as far as we're concerned, hey, how about all those free meals? You know, those Saturday meals, those late night meals. Okay, all right, we're still working Saturdays and we're still working nights, but hey, people are getting some free meals. And the commutes are easy. Most of the time we're traveling before rush hour and after rush hour. So we get to work a little earlier, we get home a little quicker. One of the things I like is that it's a great excuse. Look, if there's some family drama going on, if there's something you don't want to have to do, it's actually, can't go, sorry, can't do it. So I like the fact that we have some good excuses for not doing the things that we really don't want to do. We can focus on tax. And it's fun. It's just plain fun. It has to be fun. How do we survive it any other way? Yes, are we ready for poll question number 2?
We sure are. I'll go ahead and fire that up here. Okay, so attendees, you should be seeing it open in just a second here. The question is, which issues will be the most challenging or difficult for you this tax season? And this time you can select all that apply, so you can select more than one. New rules or regs, i.e. ACA, my technology and workflow systems, competitive price and fee pressures, late or difficult clients, finding, training, and keeping good staff. So again, please select all that apply and then make sure you click the submit button. You have to click submit in order for your vote to be counted in order to be eligible for CPE. And we'll go ahead and take another 15 seconds or so here for people to make their selections.
Yeah, those new rules and regs are emerging is pretty important right there.
All right, this is the 5-second warning. Please get your last votes in right here. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close it out right now. And so, Rick, the results we saw, 75% of people said new rules and regs, i.e. ACA. 28% said my technology and workflow systems. 34% competitive price pressure. 39% late or difficult clients. And 18% finding, training, and keeping good staff.
That is going to be the biggest difference between last year and this year. Last year, tax code changes, new rules and regs came in at about 17% by the end of tax season. We're going into tax season with 75% of people focused on the changes in the technicalities. That is going to be a big challenge. And I'm not sure all the details are worked out. I don't know what Congress is going to do. And if anybody here can predict, please type it into the chat box and let us know. Because if you can predict what Congress is going to do, that's half the battle. And it has been for the last few years, hasn't it? So we can still be happy. The key to happiness in tax season is getting happy clients. So how do we do that? The main thing is, oh, I like that. Can you do that again? Let's try it again. Get touchy-feely with clients. Clients need that extra hand-holding. It's not always in our nature, but it is part of the business that we're in. And there's very easy ways to do that. For instance, reply when you receive information by email. Just let the client know you got the email. Just thank you, got it. Call or send an email when you receive info by postal mail. Let them know you got it. Call with questions as soon as possible, but save up questions so you don't have to make those numerous calls. How about suggestions? Even if it's for next year. If you can't do it during tax season, save them up and make it a post-tax season follow-up and start booking those appointments in tax season for May, June, July, and August. Fill up your summer calendar. Start making money in the slow season. And one of the keys to happiness is no surprises. Clients don't want surprises. They don't want to pay more than expected. They don't want to get a refund less than they expected. They got to be warned about that first-time requirement for estimated tax. They got to be warned about the adjustments that they're withholding. If you don't take the time when you can, you'll still have to handle the call, except at that time, the clients will be upset. So you don't want to have to deal with that. Deal with it when you can. Think about what happens, for instance, when you're doing a return for a child, and the complexities of that, and how the conversation should go with the client in those regards. Is it a request to the client? Did you not receive all the information? Alert the client to delays or extensions and why. So call and tell the client there will be a delay in getting the returns if something unexpected came up. 16 traits of good tax clients. Now, I know everybody can give me 160 traits of bad tax clients. But let's focus on the good clients. Let's profile the kind of clients we would like to clone. Clients are our customers. They pay our salaries. They present us with stimulating opportunities for growth and success. There's no such thing as a bad or a nuisance client, although, honestly, there are clients that sometimes do bad or nuisance things. So what makes a good client? They do what they say, what they will do. They do the work organizing their documents before they provide it to us. And it's our job to help them organize that. They give us estimated amounts, how they arrived at it, and if they can't, why they can't. They pay their bills promptly. That's my favorite kind of client. They call the partner, clients that call the partner to complain about a bill, instead of complaining by sending a note to our bookkeeping department. So they call the person in charge instead of making life miserable for one of our staffers. And that's complaining the right way to the partner when they're upset about something. They make us explain what we're saying so we know they understand it, and they don't give us the go-ahead without fully understanding what it is we're going to do. I can't tell you how many times we let the ball drop there. We tell them what we're going to do. We don't have them read it back to us. We don't make sure they understand the implications, and then later on we get this call and surprise. No reason for that. We should be doing our jobs better. And we like clients who review the work we send them. When they get it, and they don't sit on it until 8 minutes before it needs to be filed or sent to a bank. And we like clients that use technology fully. We hate clients that are litigious, like the ones that aren't. We love the clients that understand that taxes need to be paid to maintain our society. It's just a price of citizenship. Don't blame us. We don't make the rules. We like the clients who understand that. We like the clients that realize that banks and finance companies need backup and documentation for lending, and that there's a cost to that. We like those kinds of clients. It's not our fault the work is needed. And we like clients that understand we sometimes make a mistake. Yeah, sure, we make mistakes. But we'll have a rational and reasonable explanation, and honestly, I don't want to hear about it again and again for the rest of my life. Please, I want the client that lets it drop. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Let's move on. We love clients that occasionally thank us for our efforts on their behalf, and we love clients that refer new clients. And it's funny, the clients who are happy with their lives are happy with us. It's a really interesting phenomenon. We like happy people. Happy people make for a happy life and a happy practice. Let's get paid faster, too. And there's 6 reasons why we always want to send that bill with a return. I know not everybody does. And for those of you who do, you can skip the next 6 reasons. But for those of you who don't, and I know there are a lot, listen up. The quicker you bill, the quicker you're paid, right? The highest value after you complete the work is the first time the client sees the results of your effort. Look, some people believe the greatest value is when the client decides he needs the service in the first place. That's usually when you're engaged. That may be the best time to set your fee, and then you can get into value pricing and value billing. But really, send the bill with the work. They see the work, they see the bill, they understand it. And we have to provide details of fees for added work. If we did 5 additional things, list all 5, for crying out loud. Now the client will know what they're being charged for the relative values. Don't make them call you or wonder. Be detailed about it. If you have to call them beforehand, call them beforehand. And tax law changes dictate new work, even if the client situation hasn't changed. So we have to bill for that. If a client complains about the fee, some do, and all explanations fail, then we have to just, kind of, man up, I guess. This is how we have to tell them. This is how clients work with me. Let's tell them no one's ever had a problem with the quality of my work or the fee. But if you do, well, we can part ways. I can give you free referrals of other accountants. I get to choose the accountants I give you referrals to, whether I like them or not. Think about that when somebody sends you a referral. And suppose they can't afford to pay it. They'll have this all the time. But you can work it out. You can work it out with installments, credit cards, bill for a set amount on set date. And just tell them, on the 13th of every month, I'm going to bill you $150 until it's paid off. They can work with that. Div, are we ready for CPA poll question number 3?
Yes, we are. Let me go ahead and get that loaded up here.
And then as
All right.
soon as loading that up, oh, go right ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so the last poll question should be up for the attendees at this point. And this is a please select one. Which of these potentially difficult issues will you be the best prepared for? New rules and regs, my technology and workflow systems, competitive price pressures, late or difficult clients, finding training and keeping good staff. So please select one and then click submit.
And if anybody wants to add a comment on any of these things, please do so in the question field. How's my audio working out, Tim?
It's been a little bit better. Some people have mentioned that it's still a little bit soft, but if you can just do your best to keep it as high volume as possible on your side, that would be great. All right, we'll take just a few more seconds here, 10 more seconds for people to get in their votes. And just a reminder, voting is required in order to receive CPE for today's webinar.
Well, it's kind of interesting how it's coming in. We got about 40% of the people say they're really going to be focusing on their technology and their workflow systems. They're going to make things work better.
Yep. So 41% on technology and workflow and 24% for new rules and regulations.
That's interesting. We got 75, in the earlier poll question, 75% of the people were worried about the new rules regs, and 24% say that they'll be focusing particular effort on it. The real effort is really interesting. It's coming in on technology and workflow systems. I think people are at a point where they're really ready to modernize, where they're really ready to make that next big leap. I think that is great news for the business. It also tells me that 40% of the people out there are going to be more competitive than they were last year. So if you haven't already upgraded your technology and workflow systems, this is your last chance to do it because 41% of your competitors are. Yeah, thank you very much. That's really interesting.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to move very quickly through this because I've got 15 easy value-added services and then 40 more ways to make money. All right. You're not going to remember all of this. It's in your handout, so I don't have to go over the details with you, but I want to hit the highlights. Let's start with review the adequacy of life insurance based on our discussion of the family's financial needs. With every client, there's an opportunity to ask, how's the family? And sometimes you get good and useful answers, and answers where you can be a good and useful professional. Be useful. Suppose the client indicated they don't have a will. We can consult on what should be in the will. We don't have to draw up the will. We're not going to pretend to be lawyers, but we know financially what should be in the will. Suppose they tell us they're worried about their estate plan. Of course we can talk to them about their estate plan. We should be in a position to help them articulate their desires so that they can take it the next step with a lawyer and with financial planning. Financial planning that we can help with or financial planning that we can refer out. Suppose this client says they don't have a buy-sell agreement with their business partners. Well, duh. It's kind of ironic. I mean, most accounting firms don't have buy-sell agreements with each other, so we keep advising clients to do it. We should take our own advice. But we can consult with clients on the terms that should be in the agreement and the ways to value the business. Suppose the client expressed goals of when they want to retire, what life is going to be like after their career. We can help them develop a financial plan for achieving those goals. Suppose they're worried about cash flow in retirement. We can take a look at their assets and accumulation plans. We can build the illustrations and do the graphs in Excel. Takes 3 minutes. We've got the numbers. We can show them what life is going to be like and what it could be like. You know, if they need a separate tax planning consultation, let's book it now. Fill up those calendars. What if they're subject to the alternative minimum tax? These days, really, who isn't? The client should be scheduling a pre-year-end meeting. Right now, we should be going through our so-called Rolodexes, our CRM system, last year's 1040s and 1120s, and looking for the client that we should be meeting with before December 31st so that they can do what they should be doing before December 31st. How about year-end tax planning and projections? What if they have a big change in their income this year? Wouldn't it be better to know about it now? How about those estimated tax payments that don't protect them and they're not protected from penalties? They need to inform us, and we need to find out. They're not going to volunteer it. We have to go out and ask. Sometimes there's divorce and separation. We should be scheduling an appointment to discuss the financial and tax aspects of the separation. And we can get involved in the valuation of the businesses if they're included. And what about the retirement plans for their business, retirement plans for their employees and their principals? We can help out. And what if they have a household employee? Boy, this explodes in people's faces all the time. Obviously, it's something that people have to be warned about, and it's definitely something we can help with, especially when it comes to payroll. Now that payroll is so easy to automate and such a great value add. And what if they make large charitable contributions? Now, there are tax advantage ways to make them. We know that. Do they know that? So those are 15 easy value add services. Think about it. We have a chance between now and the end of the year to make that happen. All right. During tax season, there's at least 40 more services that our clients should be hearing about. These are things they should know we can do. These are things that they might not automatically expect us to do. So we have to go out of our way to make sure they know. Maybe it's just a brochure. Maybe it's the updated website. Maybe it's a real conversation. But tax season is the one time a year we really have their attention. So, number one on the list. And who wouldn't put it number one? Estate planning, of course. How about inheritance advice and guidance? Now, they're going to come into some money. What are they going to do? Succession planning. We talk about succession planning all the time in our industry. Every business is going through succession planning. We know how it should be done in our business. We know how it's done in multiple businesses. We know how the client business works or doesn't work. We can help them through that process. Of course, there's personal financial planning. And there's a myriad of ways to attack that issue, whether we do it or we refer it out. Investment allocation construction to direct investment management. I mean, there are accountants doing all sorts of wonderful things for their clients, using every skill at their disposal. Those are the kinds of accountants that really build up great practices, great books of business, and have terrific clients, the kind of clients that other accountants want to buy. Well, investment clubs. We should be part of them. People are starting investment clubs all the time. How about elder care assurance services? There was a big push a few years ago in terms of elder care. I think we actually invented the terminology. But how do we know that our elderly parents are being taken care of, that their bills are being promptly responded to? A longtime spouse has just passed away. The surviving spouse really doesn't know how things work. The son or daughter want to make sure that they're taken care of. So there's assurance services, and there's business performance measurement services. Okay. There's QuickBooks training and consulting. for businesses. We could be outsourced. We could be the outsourced source for business and back office services, not just accounting. We can be all sorts of administrative things. We can be. I know accountants who take responsibility for house sitting and making sure the garage door gets replaced in the winter while the clients move to Florida. And they can bill for it handsomely because they have that rapport with the client. Outsourced CFO services, not just bookkeeping services, CFO services. How about outsourced corporate tax prep, like income taxes, the executive tax prep, the sales taxes, the state registrations? Are we covering all of the bases that a business needs to cover in order to operate without getting into trouble? That's our job. They expect us to be looking out for them. They expect us to have their backs. We're always good for a second opinion on anything. Show me an accountant, I'll show you an opinion. Show me 2 accountants, I'll show you 3 opinions. The fact is that we should encourage clients to come to us for our opinions because we have a wealth of life experience and professional experience and business experience and financial experience. We've seen people who are in probably the same situation before, and we know how that's worked out and the strategies that work and the strategies that don't. We can be their life advisor. And it starts with something as simple as asking, how are you? How's the family? Are you happy? What do you want to do when you retire? Of course we can do business valuations. We know that. How many of our clients know we do business valuations? Of course we can do retirement planning and counseling. We do it all the time. Most of the time we don't even charge for it. Most of the time it's an offhand remark. Well, restrain yourself with that, from using that offhand remark, and say, it's something that requires a little bit of depth and understanding. Let's schedule an appointment for May or June or July. We'll work it out. We'll figure it all out. We'll get it done. That's what we do. We get it done. We can do pension planning. We can do IRA distribution analysis. We can do, obviously, tax audit protection service. Jesus, gee whiz. If TurboTax can charge an extra $30 for something they call tax audit protection, we can certainly develop a business model that works in that regard. And conflict resolution. We can be mediators, arbitrators. We can be impartial. We can be independent. How about single couples living together? The planning they have to do. Straight, gay, whatever. Single couples are living together more and more these days. Second marriages, that gets complicated. Yeah, we don't know how complicated that is. Prenups, divorce settlements, Michael Chaffee, you're right. We have a repeat on conflict resolution. Thank you very much for finding that. Buying and selling a business assistant, starting a business, buying a franchise. The franchise document is thick and impenetrable to most people. It should be reviewed by a professional. It says so on the front page. Who else are they going to ask? They're going to ask us. I don't want them to ask anybody else but us. So they have to know we do that. How about entering a partnership? We know something about that. And our clients need to know we know something about that. How about getting stock in corporation? Receiving stock options. Projecting the financial aspects of any kind of proposed action. basis calculations, pass-through activities. Who else is going to say? Employment contracts. They come up pretty routinely. People often do them by themselves or with the executive recruiter. Don't they need a second opinion on that? Don't they need somebody on their side of the table? How about executive compensation review? What's comparable in the business? What's comparable in the industry? We know how to find out. Lots of companies are downsizing. They're offering settlements. And we can be involved in how they're structured, or at least explain how they're structured and what the options are. Corporate management and financial planning training. This is every small business owner I know who's successful knows what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. If they're in the restaurant business, they know how to make hot food hot and cold food cold and smile for the customer. They may not know the ins and outs of financial planning for their business. They may not know how real estate works. They may not know how financing works. But we do. We can help them with these kinds of things. So we can understand the strengths of our clients and how they got to where they are. And as well, we can understand their weaknesses and maybe help them, too, to understand their own weaknesses. And that's where we can help. That's where we can be that confidant, that advisor. Of course, there's industry-specific tax and business advisory services. Every industry is different. Every industry has its specialties. Oh, Michael Chaffee says in the question box, for number 25, thank you, Michael. He solved the problem for me where I had a duplicate entry. How about first marriage counseling? We can talk about adjusting withholding, owning, sharing assets like homes, and some of the other services that we already mentioned, like prenups, pension planning. Michael, thank you very much. Appreciate the help. How about number 39, structuring partnership and buy-sell agreements? How about 40, recession consulting? Or, better yet, economic recovery consulting. Right now, the economy is at a really interesting place. It's good for some, not so good for others. It seems to be getting better, slowly, painfully. How do our clients play that? We think we know how to play that. We think we're going to have a great tax season this year. We're investing in new workflow systems and new technologies. We're investing in new people. We're investing in upgrading our technical knowledge. We're grappling with all the new rules and regs. We're investing in our businesses. We're looking at an economic recovery, at least for us. And I think other industries are too, and other people are too. And our best clients are probably doing very well. So how can we help them do even better? How can we help them do more of what they already do well and free them up to do those things? How can we take over the things that they don't want to do, they can't do, they shouldn't be doing? I think it's an exciting time to be in this business. I think it's a terrific time to be in this business. We're going into a great tax season. The world is not getting any simpler. Accountants have never been more needed or more necessary for the kinds of things that only accountants can do. Doctors can't do it. Lawyers can't do it. Our clients can't do it. There are things we can do that nobody else can do. And we are shortchanging ourselves and shortchanging our clients if we are in any way fail to let them know what we could be doing for them to help them have better financial and economic and maybe even happier lives. That is my main message today. We can help people have better lives. Viv, I think we got a couple minutes to go. We can handle some questions. I wanted to let people know they can get more information at store.cpatrendlines.com, and I wanted people to know that they can download this free PDF, 12 Reasons to Love Tax Season, and a bunch of other great checklists from Ed Manlowitz, one of my favorite people. Let's see. Michael, thank you very much. Michael has number 41, employment counseling, including resume review, interview practices, etc. That-a-way, Michael. Thank you very much. Viv,
Yes.
Those are my prepared remarks.
Well, that's great, Rick. Thank you. Let me see. I'm just looking through the questions here to see if they're I don't believe you answered the question about should you charge new prospective clients for opinions or consultations when they call you and need to know if you're knowledgeable before they engage you for your services. So the initial consultation or opinion, should you charge the clients for that?
I think that there is probably a 20 or 30-minute get-to-know-you session in which we cannot opine on a particular client situation, but we can talk about what we've done and what we can do. We can find out from a client what their situation is. We can make a preliminary diagnosis without prescribing or applying treatment or therapy. Too often we give away too much, and just as often we give away too little. It's all about giving away the right things, and the right things that we have to give are providing prospective clients with a sense of confidence that we know what we're talking about, or determining in the first 5 or 10 minutes that we're not the right professional for this client. And it just might be a matter of personality, let alone technical issues. Does that answer the question?
I think that does, and I think that that covers most of the questions that have come in recently. And again, Rick, if you can stick around for a few minutes after we finish the presentation, if you don't mind doing that for a couple of minutes, I'll leave that option open to people. If you have a question that has not yet been answered, you can go ahead and put that in on the questions panel and then click send, and Rick will be around to be able to see that. So at this time, I'd like to just go ahead and thank everyone for attending today. The CPE survey will appear after you exit the webinar, so when you close the webinar window, you'll see the CPE survey. Please go ahead and fill that out. If you don't see it or you don't fill it out right away, a link to the survey will also be sent to you by email within the next few hours. And you don't need to complete both of them, so if you complete the online one, you don't need to click on the email link there. CPA certificates will be issued within 2 to 3 business days once we confirm your active webinar participation.